G'day, Chief. Welcome to the Inner Chief podcast and this very special Minisode on how to work at level. What I mean by work at level is to actually do the work of your role. If you're in a senior executive role, it is not your role anymore to do an enormous amount of the heavy lifting and the work. Your role now is to provide the strategic direction of the business, to work on the business a lot more. That doesn't mean losing your finger on the pulse or having your finger on the pulse, but it does mean you now need to spend a good portion of your time working on the business, setting the vision, the strategy, implementing the systems that will drive and automate change across the business. So what I'd like to work with you on today is just 3 clear moves that will help you do this. And if you don't have them, it's nearly impossible to work on the business. First and foremost is getting the team right. Get the right people in the right roles with really clear role descriptions, the right metrics for their job, and then delegate with clarity. Give them that opportunity to do their job, coach and mentor. Shift out of the doing. This is where you can't lace up the boots any longer and run onto the field, because all that is doing is making your people feel a little bit worthless. First step, Chief, get the people side right and invest time in understanding how to do that well. If you don't have that, you will constantly be drawn back down into the weeds of the business to try and help your people do their job. This requires upfront investment. It requires upfront effort if it's not working too well. Okay, so that's the very first thing to get right. The right people in the right roles with clear descriptions, all the right metrics and guide rails for them, and very clear delegation from you so they can do their jobs with a certain amount of freedom and to express themselves on a daily basis. Step 2, and you've heard me talk about this before, get your operating rhythm right. As you know, we speak about annual, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily operating rhythm. What happens at what time of the year? And part of that is getting your annual strategy workshop together, followed by quarterly catch-ups, and then even monthly check-ins on that. That particular drumbeat will force you to work on the business, on the vision. It's through that operating rhythm that you clarify the vision, purpose, value, strategy, tactics of your department and of your business. So if you are constantly drawn down into the weeds, it's often because you don't know what is the big thing you're aiming for. Where is our North Star, the thing that we're aligning the troops towards getting, right? And if we don't have that, and it's not aligned to our operating rhythm, then all that will happen is chaos will reign. Priorities will pop up all over the place. We'll be jumping around from one thing to the next, and it won't make sense. Clarifying the operating rhythm and the mission, and everything will calm down, and you'll work on the business a whole lot more. The third thing is to become a little bit fascinated by the process of vision and strategy. Ask yourself, how many books have you read? How many podcasts have you listened to about how to develop vision, how to create strategy, how to build a scorecard to support all that? You need to start re-educating yourself on things that are likely not what you've spent the first 10, 20 years of your career working on. The first 10 or 20 years is very much your professional area of expertise. It's what you went to TAFE or uni or whatever it is you've done in order to master. The next part of your career, maybe from 30, 35 onwards, it's a lot more about company leadership, organizational strategy. And you need to re-educate yourself and master that, because when you've got mastery of it, it's much more comfortable. And you will feel a level of insecurity about entering a room to talk about vision and strategy if you don't have any expertise within that field. So give yourself that little skill base, those little assets, so that when you walk in the room, the insecurity disappears and you can feel comfortable and then more motivated to do it. You will often find that the reason you don't work on the business is because you just don't know how, or don't know how to do maybe one or two parts. So give yourself the skills. Skills pay the bills. We've mentioned that before. Do that, Chief, and it will make your life a hell of a lot easier. Now, Chief, if you get the right people in the right role and get that area sorted, role descriptions, have good one-to-ones and coach your people, have an operating rhythm that drives your vision and your strategy, and you start to learn and get the assets to drive your own professional ability in working on the business, guess what will happen? Immediately, over time, you will start working on the business, which is working at level. You don't have those three things, and I guarantee you, you're going to have all sorts of trouble. And people will even say funny things about you like, oh, they've hit a glass ceiling. They've gone as far as they can. You never want that, Chief. You want to be able to feel like when you walk in that room, you're justifiably there. It's worthy that you are in the room and you know what you're talking about. So, Chief, those are three big things for you to work on. As always, if you want to scrub up on some of that, check out our mini MBA, chiefmaker.com/mini MBA. If you want to learn a bit about that, I'd love to share some of our expertise, which has been learned over 15, 20 years now, working with executives all over the world. All right, Chief, as always, remember to deal